Alright guys, so this laptop, the Acer Predator Helios 18, it's a great machine. Welcome to Christ Center Gamer. But we bought this ourselves. A refurb last fall around Black Friday. But it has a real overheating problem. So I purchased this stuff along with this DC2 Pro thermal grease that was sent to review, liquid metal. This has stock liquid metal. It apparently isn't working very well because it hits 100 CM regularly. So we're going to take this apart, replace it, and I'll give you little glimpses of what we do in a few steps as we go. So, enjoy! Okay, I've taken the bottom off. Of course I'm missing a screw, an accident. But anyway, so I've taken the bottom off. The next I'm going to take off the heat sinks, both at the same time. You have to take them all together. We're taking off these screws here, probably that one. These here, this one here. So you kind of have to take off the whole assembly, so I'll be doing that next. Okay, so here we go. I just took the heatsink off. It's a big thing. I had to unplug the two fans from I think it was over, where was it? The fans were connected over here and over here somewhere. I'll figure it out when I put them back in. But as you can see, they must have used some kind of thermal putty on the original installation because these are not pads. The only thing that appears to be a pad is right here, which is on half of the heat chipset, which is an interesting place for it. I might leave the chipset pad alone, but the rest are going to have to be cleaned off. So it's a good thing I bought all this putty and goop and everything because it appears I'm going to need it. This is the GPU right here, the memory chips around it. And I'll be putting some kind of pads on the memory chips. You can see here that they use copper on the GPU, so you cannot use liquid metal here. This has a proper nickel plating, so you can use that there. And you can see they got a little moat already, so the only thing I'm going to have to do is replace this blue goo around the edge. So I'm going to clean this off real good. Try to clean all this off, and then replace it with a thermal putty. And then... yeah, this is actually a pretty big job now that I've taken it apart. It doesn't look like it's... I don't know why the CPU... I mean, it does have liquid metal on it, but you can see it's dried off a little bit in the middle. Liquid metal is just such a bad thing, but... You know, I'm going to try it with this new stuff. Hopefully the Be Quiet DC2 Pro is better. But yeah, there it is. So I'm going to be spending some time here now cleaning this off. Look forward to the next update. Here we go. Okay, so I cleaned off as best as I could. Here's the CPU die, the GPU die, the memory, the voltage regulators, the top of the heatsink here as well. I did the best I could. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the liquid metal completely off, but it's about as good as I can make it for right now. So the next is to apply some goop. Okay, so I put all the thermal putty on and it ran out, so I had to use the rest K5 Pro goop for the rest. So goop is here surrounding the CPU die where the liquid metal is going to go, and I had to use goop there and here, and putty I used everywhere else. So next is going to be to put on the PTM sheet. I'll probably do that off camera since this isn't a review about that. And then I will do the liquid metal for the CPU die, and that's it. Okay, so the PTM is on. So let us prepare the DC2 Pro. So first we've got the syringe itself. We've got these spreading Q-tips. So we've got the little needle doohickey here. Does that come off? No, it's just part of it. Okay. So first we twist this cap off. There's the liquid metal. You can see it there. And we twist this in. All right, now the danger moment where we apply this. So let's go ahead and squeeze it on. You see it just beads up. It's probably more than we need right now, but I'd rather a little too much than not enough in this case. So let me take one of these fancy Q-tips they include in the package. Start to spread it. This is so strange. As you can see, it beads up, and this is why you want the MOTIS, I like to call it. And you just... Okay, that battery trouble's there with my camera, so I'm not sure exactly where we left off. But, so I put a little bit of the liquid metal on here, trying to spread it to make it as even as I can, to kind of pool it about, you know, edge to edge on this die. They say thinner is better, but after the experience I had with the stock liquid metal application, I'm not so sure that thinner is actually better. So I'm going to do a little bit more than the minimum. Make sure it's pooled up nice and even. This is actually looking really good. It's pretty much exactly what I had in mind. Just got to get the edges. There we go. I think that's perfect. Yeah, that's just great, actually. I'm really, really pleased with that application. So I'm going to go ahead and swap this out. Now, there might be a little bit of metal still in the top part. Surprisingly little. So I'm going to be able to put the cap back on here. Hopefully be able to use it next time. I don't know how much is actually left, but hopefully there's some. And you can see here we got the little package. I would like to be able to do my wife's laptop as well at some point, so hopefully I can reuse this and there's enough left. We'll see. Okay, that looks really good on the CPU die there. PTM on the graphics chip, goop everywhere. So here we go. Let's just line it up. So we've got the screws there. 1, 2, 3. They're actually numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm trying to get them in the right spot here. It's tricky because you don't really want to do it more than once, especially with all this goop everywhere. So you kind of have to line everything up the best you can. So you don't have to smush it too much more than just the initial application, but I think this is pretty much right where it needs to be. So to prove that, where did I put the screwdriver? Here we are. Okay, so it says to screw down 1 first, so that's what I'm going to do. I must be slightly off the spot. There, let me smush that down a little bit. Okay, so it started it. You don't have to, you don't want to tighten it down. You don't want to crank it just yet. What you want to do is get each one started and then crank it down after you've gotten each one, all of them started. So, and the putty we put on there is probably going to make it a little bit thicker, so it's going to need a little bit more oomph to get everything down. So, oops, this is by my screws. Too close, too close, too close. Okay. All right. 5, 6, 7. Okay, so everything is started. Not all of them are tight. I may have to manually hand crank down some of this. All right, so we've got the 2 fans. One here and one here. That should be correct. Okay, and then this one goes right there. Perfect, just exactly where it laid down. Okay, there's my tweezers. It's the joys of doing a job like this. You never have anything exactly where you left it. Okay, right here. Okay, and then I'll lay this fan down as well. This one actually has a sticker holding it down, so that should be easy. Okay, right there, and then let's get this guy right in the spot. Come on, in the little socket. Just trying to get it in the socket here. Oh, that's just being a son of a gun, isn't it? That's what happens. There we go. Squeeze in there. Okay. Now we have, okay, this should be the screw for this. I decided to reuse that thermal pad, so since it wasn't goop originally. So we'll tighten that one down. All right, and then 2 for these 2 screws. For the fans, I just want to get the fans out of the way. Unlike some heat sinks where the fans are attached to the, copper heat pipes. Whoa! Naturally. They're not here. So we can just easily lay them in. No problem at all. And actually, now that I think about it, that should make these easier to clean as well on this machine. So that's good. All right. Now, the last thing I got to do is still to tighten up the heat pipes. And so we're going to do that. I like to use my little machine if I can, but I think I'm going to have to get it crank out the arms. I don't think I'm going to be able to tighten this enough for this job. But let's see what we got. 3, 4, 5. I didn't like how that sounded. 5. 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to take this and grab my manual hand wrench here. Where's the tool? There it is. And this should be the correct bit. All right, so I'm going to crank these down by hand from here. Okay, it doesn't seem like going any tighter, so 2, 3. Yeah, these aren't getting any tighter. Okay, the 5 is, so let's make that tighter. 6 and 7. Okay, so these are it. I guess that means I am officially done with this. So it's from here, it's time to put my laptop back together. Hopefully discover the missing screw. And then hope and pray that everything works out well. Okay. Here we go.